off upsets. She's like the top tier to hold down all the other mid tiers and high tiers from the game, and CRB is so good at utilizing every tool at Palutena's disposal to remind you of that fact.
So going to be Palu versus Palu on Pokemon Stadium 2 here. Yes. Let's get into it. I'm so excited for this one out. This is one of our top 8 qualifiers here.
Yeah, so this will be CRB on the neutral Palutena and then Arkdee on the blue one. And right off the bat, just these forward airs and these back airs rather, these neutral airs just flying in each other's faces.
And no percent taken on the side of Arkdee until just now. Doing a good job of keeping these preemptive nairs from CRB at bay. Just focusing on doing those retreating bears just to tack on damage, but finally starting to see some offense come out from CRB.
Yeah, and once again, this is a winner's top 8 qualifier. Both these players made it extremely far in this bracket and are not looking to drop down in that losers bracket with killers like you mentioned, Raven King down there. You don't want to be down there.
He did just win 3-2 over Shard, so Shard is at a 25th.
Ooh, unfortunate.
In that percent now where Palutena, known as one of her quote-unquote weaknesses at this kill percent, you're probably looking for a back air in the corner, or if you're CRB, you're looking for a smash attack towards the ledge, not to mention that drag down nair into the up tilt, looking for something mid-stage. But if there's ever going to be a character that knows you, it's going to be the same person playing Palutena as well. So I'm curious to see how that dynamic's going to go throughout the set of who's finding stocks.
Yeah, especially because a lot of times when Palutenas will take stocks, they'll take it on this ledge here with like a down tilt into like a back air or a down throw into a back air. And those are typically DI mix-ups. And so if you know the DI, if you've been doing it to others, you are more than ready for that to happen to you. I would assume so, at least.
I think we're going to see a lot more dash attack kills than we're used to seeing in a Palutena set. That's going to be how Arkdee finds his first stock. And these guys just aren't going to get a whole lot of opportunities to kill earlier unless they get like a really nice call out.
Yeah, CRB looking for that the back throw there, rather. Not going to find it, and now Arkdee looking to push this stock super far.
Oh,
double
no.
up air. Looks for the triple, can't quite find it, though.
That's going to be a lot of percent, though, and CRB looking no closer to finding this first stock. He's continued to hunt for those back throws on the corner, but Arkdee being super cognizant of that, so it's just going to end up needing to be a raw hit.
Yeah, CRB is kind of overextending a bit here. It's a little unfortunate to see as a Wisconsinite, but Arkdee playing such lockdown defense right now. Down tilt into forward air, 100% now on CRB.
This might just be one of those where it's a best of 5 and you have to just use that opportunity to adapt throughout this set, because this game 1 is looking like a wash on the side of Arkdee. He's playing really well and just continues to hold on to this stock. And
yeah, I'm super
they're
impressed.
so patient in the corner mode.
I was going to say, I'm so impressed by both the patience and by the movement on Arkdee's side. Like, I have not had the opportunity to watch or even commentate much Arkdee, and this is a treat, even as a, let's say, Palu non-enjoyer as myself.
Just going to finally kill with the nair there at like 190%. That's just a sorry state of affairs for CRB to be in.
I feel like there's 2 ways that Dittos go in Smash Ultimate, and one is where your character completely destroys your character, and so you're taking stock sub 70, sub 60 with like silly things that you can do. I'm thinking like a Kazuya Ditto or a Game & Watch Ditto, and then there's Dittos like this or like Sonic, where you know everything. There's no cheese that you're really looking for. They are trying for those early up air kills, but they know how to avoid them, obviously. They're both extremely skilled players. And so it's going to be a bit of a thinker's game, if you will.
It's definitely as funny as a Ditto can be, where you're still able to have access to all of your tools of the character, but being so cognizant of your character's weak points with finding those kills is very apparent in how both these two are playing at higher percent. Yeah. They're just utilizing Palutena's mobility to navigate around each other's kill options, and it's just making it a nightmare to clean up stocks.
Yeah, and like you mentioned before, CRB known for those smash attacks at ledge. Look for one there with the down smash. Not going to find it. And a neutral air will be barely not killing as well. You mentioned dash attack earlier. Maybe neutral air is going to be the key to taking some stocks. If you get an
Actually, I meant explosive flame.
Yeah.
Clearly, I meant explosive flame.
Clearly.
The cover of the ledge, as you're both recovering off stage, I definitely highlighted that before the set. Obviously.
I mean, it has been 4 different kill options for 4 different stocks so far, so maybe it's going to be a little more diverse than we think.
Yeah, a lot of creativity coming out from both sides in these guys, and CRB all of a sudden is absolutely back in this game, only down about 40%, just needs to avoid those early stock takes. Just, oh my god, still living off that explosive lane though.
There. And another one.
I think CRB lost track of his air dodge button there at the end.
Yeah.
At that point, you have to be playing around that one option where, okay, the opponent's holding center. They're not committing to an edge guard. You have to just kind of have your finger on the trigger ready to air dodge there because Palutena is at that zone where you're going to be looking for an explosive flame.
And it's absolutely fresh in the mind as well because he just got hit by 2 back-to-back. The third one was the one that cleaned up the stock, but... All right, they are going to be switching sides. There we go. Now we know who's who.
I knew that Rohan was CRB since
Well, yeah.
that's always his tag. Superhero must be Arkdee then. But yeah, I think we're shaping up for a good set here where if CRB can get that early lead, I think he can absolutely take at least one game in this set.
Well, yeah, we definitely saw him able to fight from behind in that game, number 1, where he had a bit of a big deficit and then, you know, cleaned up one stock, got a good Palutena combo, and it was, like you said, brought back to about even. So definitely able to contend with a player of Arkdee's caliber is CRB.
We talk about how CRB dropped shield in the middle of that nair to start his own nair, knowing the window that he could do it at. That was insane.
That's the sort of character knowledge we're dealing with in this set right now. This is the Ditto for Palutena enjoyers.
I've never played Pal myself, but I love watching good Palutena play. It's just good fundamental Smash Ultimate, and these guys are just 2 really strong fundamental players. And again, we were talking about how if CRB can get that first lead, he could absolutely take it a mile, and he still has a bit of one right here. But immediately, Arkdee is responding and bringing this back.
Yeah, and Arkdee seems to remember that Explosive Flame is a good move in the Ditto, and it's doing wonders for him so far at the end of game 1 and here at the start of game number 2. Able to avoid that back air also it does Arkdee. This is... Oh, hello!
Dude!
We're 2-framing each other with down air now.
Getting the win box into the down air opening is just really unfortunate luck for CRB, but a hell of an opportunity for Arkdee.
I'm also going to point out that's the 6th different kill option for 6 stocks so far. And these are flying with... They know all their tools and they're utilizing them to the fullest extent.
It's Variety Hour here at Clutch Up 2026, and Palutena is here to deliver. And it's bad news for CRB, though, who continues to struggle to find these stocks. Something that when we were talking about that ledge trap way back when, Palutena really heavily relies on having superior aerial mobility to her opponent, but she doesn't have that in the Ditto, so you can't take advantage of it.
Yeah, finally finds a back air there, does CRB. 120%, though. We saw him in a very similar position in game number 1, able to bring it to a close game. However, we're trading back airs now, and now we're down a full stock. This is uncomfortable, unfamiliar territory for CRB.
But some familiar territory coming through with that Nair trying to get it back to 40, but going to get his own is Arkdee, and he's going to take it just not quite as far, but immediately going to respond and get another grab. And Arkdee just does a great job of when his combo ends, putting himself in a position to find another opening short after.
Yeah, his positioning is really showcased in this set so far, where it's not just like the movement he's using to cover all of CRB's options. It's just putting himself in the perfect position to find the stocks early with the back airs, with the down airs, like we mentioned with the ledge trap. His positioning is so good.
And CRB just does not seem comfortable dealing with the advantage state from Arkdee, where he's not picking defensive options in time, and Arkdee is just there to respond and punish over and over. And that's how he's been able to, even when these two are pretty even and neutral, when he gets that hit, he takes it a lot farther than CRB does. So, are we back to PS2? Yes, we are. It's the Ditto. It kind of just comes down to comfort here.
Yeah, and both extremely comfortable on this stage as well. There's no real, like, we mentioned earlier during the Mistral and Angelo set where they both kind of want the same thing. So they're good, like, finding one stage and just going back over and over. I feel like that's the same with these two.
just continuing to bob and weave around in neutral right now. It's a matter of getting that first big opener. CRB looking like he's finally getting one here. Yeah, that's probably been one of the bigger openings that CRB's had throughout this set, which says, you know, the state of affairs that CRB's been in.
I mean, it's sort of the same on both sides. We're not really extending beyond like the 3 or 4 piece combos, and they're both okay and comfortable with that. They both know that each other is very good at the character, and they're not going to find a ton off of, like, they're not going to be able to surprise them with a combo.
It's really just been the deep off-stage game where Arkdee's had a leg up. Being able to challenge CRB deeper off-stage, something that our CRB has really not had the opportunity to do. And even there, just, you know, getting that back air to get that stock and just continues to rack up this damage on respawn.
Yeah, Arkdee just showing extreme comfortability in this matchup right now. Able to bob and weave again, like you said, out of any of CRB's potential killing options.
Not sure if Arkdee and Druish have played a lot in Michigan. Druish also a very good Palutena. So I imagine if he has that experience, I know CRB has tended to struggle in any Ditto specifically. Yeah. He's had a lot of challenges with Dadzy from Minnesota when those two have had to play. So I imagine it just may be a comfortability thing too for CRB.
Yeah, I was actually kind of wondering after the game too if we might have seen a secondary come out from CRB, maybe a Lucina or even like a ZSS or a Sheik, but it is going to be the Palutena we stuck with, and we're going to see through it to the end, even now down a stock and up over, or almost 100% rather, now over.
A lot from Pal will kill at this point too. If you can find a dash attack mid-stage, that'll get it done, but that's not really something that CRB is going to do, is go for those unsafe home runs in the middle of the stage, but you know who's absolutely willing to do that is Arkdee.
Yeah, especially with a lead as big as Arkdee has right now, he's willing and able to throw out those kill options. CRB does finally take that stock with the dash attack, like you mentioned, but, you know, 137% and not quite a stock, but you have to wonder if the damage is done.
You're going to need to find a lot more of those nairs just to rack up that percent, but it's just like, Arkdee's defense is so strong. If he does get hit, he doesn't take too much percent, so you can't continue to take these big trades, and you see the disparity there, being up a full stock. And this is very much looking like the winner stock life for CRB.
Yeah, Arkdee in a very favorable position right now, up a full stock, only 51%, and has been living really long on these stocks as well. So when you think, like, he's at 51%, maybe if I can kill him at 90 or 100, but these stocks from Arkdee have been going at like 130, 140, so that's almost a full other 100% that CRB has to put on Arkdee.
I often consider the difference between like high level and top level is how hard it is to kill a player. Where CRB, top of his state, definitely a high level player, very strong, but Arkdee is like right at that top level where getting stocks can feel almost impossible. And that is the first time in the entire set that we've seen those trademark kills out of the strong smash attacks from CRB. And he just really has not had the opportunity to even go for them.
Yeah, CRB looking to kind of shut us up right now and maybe say I'm a top level player too, but he's got to find a stock now, and he's got to find a game. Oh, could have been with that up air. Just off the mark on the spacing though.
First lead in quite some time for CRB. He needs to find his way back onto stage without too much more damage. This has really been where Arkdee makes a lot of his money, is when he has CRB off stage, but is going to reset here and has a ledge trap, but just is not finding that last big hit.
Yeah, and for the first time in this set, Arkdee looks a bit uncomfortable trying to deal with CRB.
Okay,
as we get the back throw for the stock and the game.
And completely shut us up. Well, we're pretty much writing this off as a 3-0. CRB brought that back hard and fast, being able to rack on a lot of quick percent and finding that stock at higher percent very efficiently, where it tended to be with Arkdee lingering at those higher percents for a long time. So maybe CRB's figuring something out here.
Yeah, you did mention, like we've been mentioning throughout the set, that CRB very strong with those smash attacks to ledge trap. The first one kind of coming through. That could be the confidence that CRB needs to start this reverse 3-0. I mean, we've got one game. We only need 2 more.
Yep. CRB definitely a very, you talk about like hearts and minds players. He's definitely like a very much a mind player where he is very intellectual about the game, really thinks through interactions. So sometimes just having those experiences with your hands on the sticks and actually playing against a really great player of your character can just be the experience you need to figure out as you go in a best of 5.
Absolutely. Arkdee, though, looking to shut it down before it even begins. 76% in a ledge trap, however, is going to get reversed here. And now CRB with a combo of his own. How far can we take it? We're about even percents, actually.
Yeah, as the set goes on, CRB is just trying to make more and more out of each hit that he gets, starting to catch up to Arkdee in the damage output department. And that's bad news if you're Arkdee.
No, absolutely, because we've been mentioning that, like, the 2 places where Arkdee has excelled over CRB so far have been taking the stocks and dealing the damage with the combos. And right now, it's looking like CRB is evening it up a bit in both regards.
This is where you're probably looking for a smash attack here, but you don't need it if you just time a down air, and hasn't even remotely attempted a down air 2-frame yet, and it's going to pay off immediately for CRB.
Yeah, and actually for the first time in the entire set, CRB with a stock lead here against Arkdee. And, oh, wow, great drift back from CRB. That was an incredible recovery.
And saving the stock, saving the jump, too, in order to get back after DIing away from the explosive flame. CRB really coming alive in this set, but Arkdee trying to stemmy the tide, just going to clean up that stock rather quickly.
Yeah, good up air catch there by Arkdee. Been doing so well at catching with those up airs, especially in this game where we've seen a lot more come out on this battlefield stage. A lot smaller, and also that top platform can be sort of a trap if you're above a Palutena.
And both being Palu, they can execute those teleport cancels just to try to get out of disadvantage more safely. They haven't really gone for it yet. It seems like they're probably banking on the other one going for it and just covering it preemptively. But it does give you some more flexibility if you're recovering high, which CRB has done more often than not.
Arkdee now looking to keep CRB at ledge, but a good nair to center will get CRB back in this game. Arkdee, though, responds in time with a nair of his own. And, yeah, this is probably the closest we've had this game so far, at least throughout the entirety of the game.
I think whoever takes this stock here first is likely going to be winning the game. It could be the difference between a 3-1 and a Game 5, and it's going to go to CRB.
Well, all of Wisconsin has its hopes that you're right now, Reed. And CRB with a great nair to center, and another huge combo coming out, 42%, forcing Arkdee all the way to the top, near the top of the blast zone. Is going to avoid that up air, though, is Arkdee.
And no stranger to making upsets is CRB. He's beaten Atata before at the Tri-Point finale, so definitely a player that can take Palutena to those heights. Arkdee definitely no stranger to it either, but he's just cannot find this second stock. And all of a sudden it's CRB that's living to these high percents.
Yeah, it's the game has suddenly done a 180 on us, and it's almost like these two have swapped controllers, as CRB is the one at 170%, which he has not lived to even close to in this set so far. And he's been taking these stocks from Arkdee extremely quickly and extremely efficiently.
Probably hunting for a drag down nair in center, but he's going to find a back throw instead. Not quite going to take it, but a lot from Palu in the corner. What a great recovery from Arkdee to go high there.
No jump there on the Palutena. Could have been very dangerous, but CRB evens up the set count at 2 apiece.
Where's the crowd, man? Game 5, CRB Arkdee. This is the 1 or the 2 seed of the tournament.
2 seed.
The 2 seed of the tournament. Wisconsin's best, potentially with a humongous upset for the day. On the verge of doing a reverse 3-0 on Arkdee.
In the character Ditto as well.
No cheesy shenanigans, just straight fundies, straight adaptation. This is great stuff, Oat.
Yeah, we've been talking about how I'm not the biggest Palutena enjoyer in the world. I'm loving this set so far.
We'll get you to come around. This is good fundies Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
I'm a fan of good fundies Super Smash Bros. Ultimate with any character.
But Palu, she goes vroom. Back to PS2 though for this Game 5. Arkdee did not like what Battlefield was giving him in that last game, so gonna go back to where he won the first 2 games. It makes sense with how he was playing Advantage State and how the pressure of where the platforms are stationed on PS2 really lended itself to Arkdee's Advantage State.
And like you mentioned also, good up smash. Like you mentioned as well, like both players seem to be kind of waiting for the other one to go for that teleport cancel on the recovery rather than go for it themselves. And so if that's like a tool in your recovery that you're not able to use on that stage, why even go to that stage to begin with?
Exactly, and if you're finding more success with this platform layout, it makes it a little harder to get off the ledge. And Arkdee, who's shown just how strong his ledge trapping is there, he's going to sweep through with that down tilt, and so far the counter pick's paying off.
Yeah, we saw Arkdee win 2 games on this stage before, CRB with 1 of his own. So definitely a stage that Arkdee's extremely comfortable on, as we mentioned earlier.
And just having more stage to DI away from these Palu combos makes it a lot harder for CRB to find stocks. And what we've seen whenever Arkdee gets to live for a long time, he takes it a really, really long way.
Yeah, 150 here almost on this Palutena. CRB's got to find the stock quickly to get the reverse 3-0 any life.
Yeah, potentially looking down the barrel of being down 3 stocks to 1 unless he can just find this up tilt, and it is going to make its mark. So just needs to be playing this second stock clinically to get back into this game.
Yeah, and a bit of a miscue there on the up B, but not going to be punished for it is CRB. So that's definitely one that we can take to the bank and say, thank you, Arkdee. I will absolutely live right now.
Arkdee is really not giving CRB too many opportunities to survive longer than you'd think, but not going to get any more favors when that back air comes through.
No, Arkdee now 1 stock away from winner's side top 8. CRB looking to pull the upset here in the character Ditto, but he needs to get through a stock and a half on his own character, on one of the best representations of his character in the United States at least.
Absolutely. It's just a matter of continuing to tack on this safe damage, but Arkdee is on Palutena as well, who sure knows how to find that safe damage, and whenever he gets CRB off stage, it's been a lot of percent.
Absolutely, and can't find anything off of Arkdee's dash attack there, does CRB. Can we get something going off stage? We kind of need it if we want to be back in this game. 89%. You know, Arkdee's been living very high, but CRB's got to find another stock early.
Starting to shrink down that distance on those ledge traps just to apply more pressure on Arkdee, but doesn't get the home run that CRB needs. So Arkdee's back to neutral here, and he really gets to kind of try to tap this one in slowly but surely, but there's no breaks involved there as the explosive flame comes through to clean things up, and Arkdee will advance to top 8 winners.
Yeah, great stuff there from both players, but especially Arkdee there, able to stifle CRB's attempts at a reverse 3-0 and an upset for Wisconsin. Arkdee representing Michigan now into the top 8 on the winner's side.